Old Guys Rule Singing Tips. Hey gang, Ken Tamplin from Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. As we age, some things don't work quite as well as they used to. Wait a minute, let me rephrase that. Not this Italian, it's getting hot in here. Anyway, seriously though, we lose elasticity, and so we need to be more careful, and so our bodies can be more fragile and more susceptible to pulling muscles and, little aches and pains and stuff. And things that we've done in our 20s are not as robust as we've, now, or we're more robust then than they are now. And so we need to have a little extra TLC. Now, I want to talk to you about some singing tips, and I first want to tell you guys, I'm going to be 58 this year, okay? December 11th is my birthday. And so I was born in 1963. And as I've gotten older, I've learned a lot more about my craft. And the only way to have learned those kinds of things about my craft is to have gotten older to apply the things I knew to be true, but I didn't know how much I would need them as I got older and how much more careful I'd need to be in applying certain singing techniques. This is really important. Now, before we actually get into this thing, I want to mention there are things we can do to bring back elasticity because we lose a lot of collagen in our body, okay? That's the first thing. So I got this collagen here. This stuff is really good, man. Really, really good. It's Ancient Nutrition Multi-Collagen Protein. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10, I think it is. But anyway, this stuff is really, really great. Now, be careful taking this stuff because you'll have hair grow in places that you don't necessarily want. Man, I'm on fire today. Anyway, but this stuff is really good for replacing collagen in the joints. And by the way, your cords are made almost entirely of collagen. They're sinews or strands of collagen that are all woven together. And this actually helps bring the elasticity back in there. Staying hydrated and other things like that do too. But I really strongly recommend this as a go-to for getting elasticity to come back into vocal folds themselves. And when that happens, we're able to, like a rubber band, oiling a rubber band, as we stretch the cords, we're able to get more resiliency back in there, the elasticity, a lot of the moisture that gets put back, and we're a lot less susceptible to injury. Very, very, very important, okay? That's one thing. Now, I want to tell you guys a little story, all right? And I've shared this story a couple times in small detail, but I'm going to elaborate just a little bit. My son and I have played a lot of soccer his early years growing up. In fact, we played so much soccer that we used to drive 2 hours to practice 3, 4 nights a week, all over California where we live playing games. We used to drive in the Inland Empire on weekends to pick up games in the Hispanic leagues because that's where all the good soccer was, or most of the good soccer was for learning, and pick up games, impromptu games. But I bring this up because I sat on the sidelines for hours waiting for his practices to end. And it was fascinating because I got to see a lot of pickup games from a lot of these old roly-poly beer-drinking dads that would take on these scrappy 12, 13, sometimes 14-year-old boys in pickup games. So it'd be the dads versus the boys or girls, but mostly boys. And I thought it was hilarious. Now, zero in, stay with me. It's really cool. These dads, way out of shape, very out of shape, would take on these fast, scrappy, energetic, relentless, 13 and 14-year-old boys. But their technique was so good as the dads. So as one of the boys would run onto one of the dads, hunt down a player, it's called. He'd hunt down this player. The other dad would go to space and create something called a wall pass. And I don't want to go into technical details of soccer, but it means that if there's a player in front of you and a player behind, you can't pass to that player. So that dad or that player that's behind this person goes here and another player goes to space behind him. You want the ball to end up there, but you can't get it directly there. So it's called a wall pass. You pass it to this player and then this player passes it to the player and it goes around that player by 2 steps of motion rather than just one straight on pass, okay? So this is one of many things, but I'm just gonna tell you how this works. So instead of the dad trying to run like crazy and fancy foot skills and make it around a player, he just goes, hey, 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 and poof, he'd pass it off to another dad that kind of waddles over. The dad would collect it in a single pass. He'd pass it off to the other dad in a wall pass. He'd go to space, go to goal, and score. And it would drive these kids nuts because these dads understood how to not overuse what energies that they had, what little stamina that they had, and all these different things. And I couldn't help but think to myself, that is an exact great way to represent or to try to explain, excuse me, being exemplary of how we are as we get older, how we have to take even more care of our voices and our bodies and different things to help us really understand how we can sing as we age, okay? Now, the voice actually maturates and it does some funky things over time, so you have to kind of keep that, you know, the old saying, if you stop, you'll drop, okay? So we have this concept. Now, Ken, that didn't really help me with my singing. Well, it did. Give me a minute, I'll get there. So what we do is, instead of bravado, or not bravado, but, you know, you know, pushing really hard, or, you know, using, you know, all of our energies as we did when we were younger, and exerting all this excess, you know, energy that we're using to sort of force through things and pound through things and muscle through things, is what I meant to say. We have to finesse through things, okay? Finesse through things. So I want to do something with you dads for a minute. I just want to do a simple lip drill. Some of you say I can't even do that because my mouth is so stiff, it's hard to get my lips to move. So you can just do, you can do an M, but if you can, try to do this with me. We're just going to do something really simple, but I want to emphasize some things. Ladies, you can take this up the octave. Okay, get your diaphragm together. If you haven't seen the diaphragm videos, watch my video on diaphragmatic support. Do this with me. Ken, you're going too fast. You're right. I'll slow it down. Okay, now if you're doing this and you're going, this isn't meant to be, here's where we're gonna do a bunch of exercises, I have a singing course. The course is called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. You can find it right here at KenTamplinVocalAcademy.com, where I have an introduction in volume 1 that covers these really slow if you're interested in wanting to incrementally work your way up to this. So I'm doing this by way of demonstration to give you an idea or an overview of how to do this. So I'm just gonna do a couple more. Okay, now on this note, for you baritones out there, or even a full step down for that, so whatever that was, right in there, okay, both guys and gals would have felt a tug in their throat, okay? Now, most younger people, when I teach them, again, there's so much elasticity in their chords, and I can warm them up a lot quicker, okay? I can warm them up a lot quicker, but you and me, as we age, there's less elasticity in the chords. So we want to do this scale instead of like in your youth, in your 20s, you do it once, you're quick, you move on. Just like the kid, you're at the gym, right? If you do go to the gym, you're at the gym. And doesn't it kind of piss you off? You're sitting there on the treadmill and you have, level 1 and you're kind of walking, trying to get everything working, and then you put it up to you. And then this 20-year-old comes over and goes, ding, 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 ding. This treadmill's moving up, and they're like practically running up a 25, 30 degree hill, on level 5, and they're just starting. They do it, put their headphones on, they do it for 25 minutes, they sweat and they split, and you're just finally trying to get, up 3. These innuendos today, trying to get it up a little bit, and cranking up that speed a little bit. And it's annoying because they have so much youth on their side that they're able to get into those spaces. But just like the tortoise and the hare, I'm going to tell you that if you do and you're consistent, you do your little one up and you keep it going, and after a while, they're 25 minutes and a couple of cheeseburgers later and 5 years added on to their life. You're going to be able to compete with those guys and probably beat them if you're consistent. And I know this to be true because I do it myself every single day, okay? Now, so as I was gonna say, so instead of just doing this scale one time and then moving on to the next one, do it 2 or 3 times, 4 times. Maybe you're retired and your time is on your side, or maybe it's not on your side. God, I got a million of them today. Anyway, I feel like I should do this video over, but I'm having so much fun. Why? Anyway, and no, I don't even drink anymore. I'm 2.5 years sober, if you can believe that. So, but you want to do this like 2 or 3 times and then move on to the next scale. Now, here's the interesting thing. The voice as we age takes longer to warm up, okay? So as you're doing my scales in the course or wherever you're going to get your scales from, you're going to want to slow it down. Take a break. Do one scale. Look at your watch, give yourself 2 minutes, 3 minutes. If there are watches, look at your phone, look at your phone. And come back and do it again. And then come back and do it a third time. And then when you feel ready, add one note to the scale. Go up one half tone. So if you were stopping here, so on the E, right? Move it up a half step. So, and just do that a few times and slowly warm up chromatically, incrementally, slowly warm up your voice. And you're gonna find that after about a half hour, you take a little break, half hour, you come back, give yourself 10 minutes. Come back and do it again. Then move it up another note, or 2 notes, or 3 notes. Now again, as we were younger, we'd be able to warm up really quickly and we'd be able to warm up 4, 5, 6 notes in 10 minutes. But as you age, you can't do that. But what you're gonna find out is, just like stretching as we get older, or yoga, or whatever it is you do to stay limber, you're gonna find that you can do that, and the more you do this, the quicker you'll be able to get into this stretching, the more range you'll get, and you're gonna find out something even crazier. You're gonna say to yourself, you know, when I was in my 20s and 30s and I could sing that A5 or whatever that high note was for you in that song, and you felt like you were long past the age of childbearing out that note, I got a million of them, I got 1,000,001. You'll find that you can not only do the notes you did when you were younger, you could do them with less force, more finesse, and more consistency, and you'll even get more range over time if you use correct information. All right, hopefully this was helpful. I have a singing course right here, KenTamplinVocalAcademy.com. If you're interested, you can find it right here, and it walks you through this step by step by step by step. All right, I have a free singing forum over there with over 25,000 singers that will also kind of give you some good tips and whatnot. And until next time, gang, God bless you. Peace out. I'm gonna sing.